Brakati Awa, Brakati Awa Shai, Brakati Awa, Brakati Awa Shai, Brakati Awa, Brakati Awa Shai. Call Laim Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal, Kadash. Peace and blessing to the sincere men, women, and children, diligently in the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, trying to make their call and election sure. This is McQuad from the Virginia Church. And let me get right into it. So, as you can see there right now, if you're watching the news, they're putting big highlights and the spotlight on cases going up worse than they ever been since even worse than when the pandemic started here. So, and then you see things like this where it says Biden says he shut down the country to fight coronavirus if recommended. I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna read the article.
Didn't share very specific details in his remarks about what he would do, but he did outline broadly that he would do things like a national mask mandate, make better use of the Defense Production Act, in his view.
So a national mask mandate, meaning for sure, if you're outside, you need a mask on. Because right now they have it in all stores, but Biden says what? He's going to make it a mandate. Period. General. Okay, so as soon as you come outside, you need a mask on, or you're getting fined, which is already like that in some places. I've heard, but
force the production of medical supplies and equipment here in the United States so that the country is no longer dependent on China or other countries around the world for PPE and issues like that. Talk broadly about taxes and preserving Social Security, but beyond that, over the course of the week, very little specific mention of what exactly Democrats would do, not only if they take back the White House, but if they take full control of Congress. So we'll see in the coming weeks if that has any effect on the standings, not only for Biden, but for...
So I'm gonna go over here in this article. It says COVID-19 infections are soaring. Lockdowns could be coming. A list of restrictions in your state. So I just watched a video before that when where Joe Biden was saying that actions are going to be taken the minute that he's sworn in, and that we don't have the what is it? We don't have the vaccine just yet. It might be a couple of months off from the time that he gets in. Meaning what? That he plans on putting in all these certain restrictions the uh before the vaccine actually gets here. But it says as COVID-19 hospitalizations and deaths continue to rise nationwide, some states are halting phase reopening plan or imposing new coronavirus related restrictions. Several are putting limits on social gatherings, adding states to travel quarantine lists. Because I know right now, Cuomo was talking about you would have to go on like I believe it was a 7 day quarantine or a 14 day quarantine if you enter New York if you're not from Pennsylvania or New Jersey. You would have to get you had to be on a quarantine before you can actually enter and get tested between those days. It says mandating face masks mandating face masks are encouraging residents to stay home. As many did in the spring, others are restricting business hours of operation and limiting restaurant capacity. Now in New York, I believe they said no more indoor dining, and bars and restaurants are going to be closing at 10 o'clock. It says 34 states plus the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico now require people to wear face coverings in public. According to a list maintained by AARP, Utah joined the list in recent days. Maine strengthened its mandate, and Ohio's governor reissued an order this week with new sanctions. Let me see what's this date. This is today, the 13th. So it says And on Friday, the governor of New Mexico, Oregon, Vermont, Virginia, where I am, and West Virginia announces additional coronavirus restrictions. Is your state re-implementing COVID-19 restrictions? See the list below. So, Lord willing, after I do this video, I can put the link in the description. It says Alabama Republican Governor Kay Ivey on November 5th extended the state's face mask order until December 11th at 5 p.m. So I'm assuming this is like mandated. You wear the face mask everywhere. It says still on Alabama. I'm willing to keep the mask order in place while acknowledging that sooner rather than later it will be up to each of us to do the right thing, regardless of a government mandate or not, Ivey said. The governor also announced 2 changes to occupancy rates and businesses' social distancing rules beginning November 8th. Says Alaska Republican Governor Mike Dunleavy issued a statewide emergency alert November 12th, yesterday, and implored Alaskans to take steps to slow the spread for the next 3 weeks. But it says Alaska does not have a statewide mask order. So Arizona Republican governor posted a Twitter video November 10th to urge mask wearing, physical distancing, hand washing, and staying home when sick. I can't stress this enough. These are simple steps, and as we've seen, they can make a real difference, he said. Let me get to Virginia, see what they talking about. Democratic Governor Ralph Northam on November 13th said in a news release that the state's cap on gathering will be reduced from 250 to 25. Sheesh. The state's mask requirement will be applied to younger children, and alcohol sales will be prohibited at dining establishments, breweries, and wineries after 10 p.m. Those and other new restrictions will take effect midnight November 15th. The gathering ban will apply to events such as weddings, but won't impact schools or restaurants. Restaurants were already subject to capacity limits due to rules requirements that patrons remain socially distanced. Virginia has had a statewide mask mandate since May. So I'm assuming this is because I'm here in Virginia and they haven't said anything about mandating a mask in public. So I'm assuming this mandate is talking about stores. Northern asks Virginians to celebrate Thanksgiving safely. There is no genetic immunity. So, and this is and like everybody's like freaking out right now because the coronavirus is so-called back and it's soaring. And we already know, as I just said, Joe Biden said he's willing to do what? He's willing to go down a lockdown to stop the coronavirus. So obviously, this is obviously what they got planned on doing, bringing Joe Biden in and having him being more different than Trump and shutting things down and things of that nature, which is all according to plan, and he's just going to itch us closer to Jacob's trouble and the microchip. So that's why it's really, really important Let me see. So this is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 16. It says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So it says redeeming the times because the days are evil. And redeem, matter of fact, let's look it up.
Redeeming.
Compensating for someone or something's fault. Able to save people. Here it is. Able to save people from sin, error, or evil. And then we know what? Yahushua redeemed us. Okay. And we got to do what? Redeem these times. It says, wherefore be ye not unwise. It's telling you how to redeem the times. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Why? Because the times that we coming into are evil. Okay, that's why we got to make good of the time. We got to redeem the times right now because the times that we going into are going to be evil. And the only way to redeem the times is know the will of the Lord. Okay, it says, and be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. And we know what the Spirit is: love, joy, peace, long suffering, meekness, gentleness, goodness, faith. That's the Spirit. That's what we ought to be, and that's the will of the Lord, to be in the Spirit towards all our people. It says, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for all things unto Yahweh and the Father, in the name of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? We got to submit ourselves one to another. Okay, we got to serve one another. We got to be loving, have compassion and mercy towards one another. Why? Because that's what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua wants. That's His will. Okay, the times that are coming that are evil. Okay, if you wanna get out of that, that's the spirit that you got to be in. But with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakal, Kadash, Adawan, Ratazatam, Tamayim, Akiam, Wa, Aquafium, Yakal. Shalom.